Hey everyone, good afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Arel Winninger from the Central Oregon Daily Weather Center. We're about to take a deep dive into your most reliable forecast for the Tri-County area of Central Oregon. We have several changes on the way, including more roller coaster temperatures, but not as extreme of a dip in temperatures ahead from what we saw this weekend. However, we get through the 80s and reaching into the 90s for a few spots. Then it gets cooler, and that's because of a weak front. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Across Central Oregon here this afternoon, we have a mixture of sunshine and clouds, but we also see quite a bit of haze. Now that haze isn't enough to impact our air quality conditions too much. There have been a couple of sensors that are showing moderate air quality conditions at times. One of those right now over Warm Springs. Good news though is the alder fire has improved quite a bit through this weekend with those showers that we had. The actual footprint hasn't changed at all. It's 3,279 acres and containment's to 82%. In fact, the Alder Springs Facebook page said that they're not going to be posting on it anymore. So it looks like it's mostly wrapped up, but we'll continue to track it for you just in case. Now here through the next few days, there is going to be a chance of our fire weather conditions picking up once again, and that's because of a risk of thunderstorm activity tomorrow. And it all has to do with that very weak fizzling front that's just offshore, bringing some showers to radar off the Oregon coast. That pushes through or into our area tomorrow, and on Tuesday it fizzles out. And what that means for us is that moisture is going to be left behind. Overnight, temperatures are falling into the 40s with some 50s, so already dew points are going to be pretty high, and temperatures pick up even more through Tuesday. So with all of that being said, there is a chance of some showers with the potential of a few thunderstorms developing where any showers happen. Now I'm going to go ahead and deep dive into all of that and everything else you need to know, but that is the one system that we're really tracking here through the next couple of days. Winds have been a light breeze, and we are now looking at infrared satellite imagery. There's an enhancement on it to pull out those really tall cloud tops that helps us know what's driving what, but there's not too much happening other than that weak frontal boundary that's just offshore. Now there is a broad ridge of high pressure out over the Pacific Ocean. That is going to build into our region, but not until late this week. So that means all of this activity that's just north of that, we are expecting it. Now, the high pressure starts to build into the region, so it's not bringing much in the way of rain chances, except for that low chance happening tomorrow. But ultimately, once that high pressure builds into the region, temperatures skyrocket. All of this other activity is going to go around the periphery of that high pressure, and we're not worried about it. So let's go ahead and focus a little bit on that chance of thunderstorm activity. It's very low, but it's a chance. So here through tonight, some light clouds, and we're starting today Tuesday with some light clouds. By Tuesday during the early afternoon hours, there is a potential for some convective showers to start to develop, and these are the ones that are the pop-up showers and pop-up thunderstorms that happen during the summer, and any of them that happen we're going to be tracking for thunderstorm potential. Then through the afternoon, there's a chance of some thunderstorms developing and that carrying over into the evening. So we're going to do a couple things. First, we are going to go ahead and take a closer look at this potential through this forecast model, and then we are going to go ahead and look at it through another forecast model. So let's dive in, fast forward all the way until we hit 1 p.m. Through the afternoon, taking it little by little, by 2 to 3 p.m., that's when we could have some of these convective showers really popping up, and anything that turns red or orange, that's where we're closely tracking for some thunderstorm potential. And the biggest potential is going to be Tuesday during the evening hours going into tonight, the overnight, so before sunset for the most part. After that, we get back to in and out clouds through the day Wednesday. So let's look at a different forecast model, and this one is really going to hone in on when and where we have that chance of any thunderstorm potential. And so I'm going to go ahead and make sure this is set out through Tuesday at 11 p.m. starting with this evening, and not much happening until we hit Tuesday during the afternoon hours. And I'm going to stop when we start to see some red. Now let's zoom in. Okay, where we have this red, there's the potential for some isolated lightning. And if you start to see any purple spots show up, that's where we have the potential for hail. Now, through the afternoon hours, it looks like a cluster of showers that are capable of producing some lightning develop and start to push from the southwest to the northeast through central Oregon. So it looks like they could be starting up on the east slopes of the Cascades, and then through the evening hours, it starts to exit the area. Now, we really don't see that bright yellow color, so it doesn't look like strong thunderstorms at this point are going to be having the potential to develop, but there is a chance of some lightning through the afternoon and evening hours starting tomorrow. So let's go ahead and move on. Let's look at a couple of other things. Our relative humidity today, this afternoon, is extremely low. We're in the teens and some 20s on the map. It was a little lower, a little bit earlier. And through the overnight, we are going to see that rebound a little bit when it comes to the percentages, because as temperatures fall, dew point doesn't move too much and we get closer, so we get a little closer to saturation. But through the day tomorrow, we are looking at very dry conditions, and so some of those sprinkles that we were seeing showing up on the forecast model could actually be virga, rain that falls and evaporates before it hits the surface. But when it comes to the temperatures today, look at this. In the last 24 hours, 70s and some 80s. Right now, we're still in the 70s, 81 in Bend, 85 in Warm Springs. So that puts us at a 13 or a 12 to 18 degree jump in temperatures in just 24 hours. So a big warm up, putting us on target for this time of the year. Seasonable temperatures or a little below average for some parts of the high desert. Now here through this evening, it's going to be pleasant and then mild, very little cloud cover. By tomorrow, temperatures crank up into the 80s, and that next warm up, that could be what pushes us past that convective temperature to where there is a chance of some convection, i.e. some showers popping up and then the potential of some thunderstorm activity. Now our UV intensity forecast for Tuesday is going to be very high. Solar noon's about 1, and 1 is when we start to see some of those clouds roll into the high desert. And then we get a dip in that on Wednesday, and it starts to creep its way back up by Thursday and Friday. Remember, by Saturday and Sunday, we're looking at a big jump in temperatures. And ultimately, we are going to see this UV roller coaster continue for a little bit longer. But let's go ahead and jump forward, looking at those roller coaster temperatures. So this specific forecast model hones in on surface temperatures, and I put some wind speed and direction on there. I put some surface analysis and a couple of words on there. So it's going to be warmer with some PM showers and the potential of some thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon, highs in the 80s with a few 90s possible. And then fast forward. By Wednesday, highs in the 80s and some 70s. So starting to see that temperature come back down. In and out clouds are expected, not much at all in the way of precipitation or thunderstorm activity in general at all, anywhere. By Thursday, 70s with some 80s possible. So notice we get that next dip in temperatures through Thursday. By Friday, those temperatures start to rebound. By Saturday, we're in the 80s. By Sunday, we're actually going to be in the 90s if everything holds true with the forecast past the next 2 to 3 days. Now, our forecast model, this is one that we also use on air, and it's not as high resolution as the one I just showed you earlier after satellite and radar. Now this shows that here through tonight, not much in the way of cloud cover, but once that weak front starts to fizzle out over the Pacific Northwest, we get a chance of some showers and a few isolated thunderstorms, few and far between, but there is a chance, and this time of the year we're going to track any chance that pops up for thunderstorms because of the very dry fine fuels at the surface and the fire weather conditions potential. By Wednesday, we're just looking at in and out cloud showers and thunderstorms over eastern Oregon and Idaho. By Thursday, more sunshine than cloud cover, and then by Friday, those temperatures start to rebound. Now, looking at an extended forecast model, this is the GFS, the Global Forecasting Spectral Model, and what it shows us is it gives us a really good idea of what's going to happen past the next couple of days. It's one of the few that actually goes out past day 7 to day 10, and we're just going to focus on the 7-day planner. It's not as high resolution, keep that in mind. So through tonight and tomorrow, not much happening. This one does not hone in on that chance of thunderstorm activity Tuesday, but we're past that. We're starting the clock actually on Thursday, and so through Friday, we're not looking at much. We're just more sunshine than clouds. By Saturday, tons of sunshine. By Sunday, even more sunshine. At this point, the high pressure is just built over the Pacific Northwest. Then by Monday, there's more clouds and a chance of some showers. So between now and Tuesday at 11 p.m., we do have a chance of some showers with the potential of some thunderstorm activity. The lower resolution forecast model also shows some of that precipitation pushing through, but not as heavy. And it's actually honing in on the fact that we could actually get some virga and not all the precipitation reaches the surface. Now when it comes to winds, Gusts right now, not too impressive, between 7 and 14 miles per hour. Actual wind speeds are 2 to 12 miles per hour, actually lower than that. It looks like 1 to 8 miles per hour. So a light breeze today. Through this evening, that's not going to be picking up too much at all. But by tomorrow, during the afternoon hours, it gets breezy on Tuesday. Then Wednesday, it's going to be breezy during the afternoon and evening hours. Notice that we're transitioning back into that standard summertime flow where we have calmer mornings and breezy during the PM hours. So for tonight, we're looking at 40s and 50s. By Tuesday, highs in the 80s with a few 90s possible. And then your 7-day planner shows temperatures dip down through Thursday. Thursday is the bottom of the cooling trend and the last day that we're really looking at a lot of in and out clouds. Winds will be breezy by the afternoon through the next 4 days. Pardon me. And then by Saturday and Sunday, we get a whole lot of heat over the high desert. By Monday, we do have that chance of some showers. The temperature's still picking up quite a bit. And so that could actually be another day when we reach that convective temperature and some thunderstorms are possible. But that's so far down the 7-day planner. We're not focused on it too much, but we are continuing to track what's going on. So our weather headlines for this Monday, June the 23rd, include more clouds and drying fuels. The only change up to that is tomorrow afternoon, Tuesday during the afternoon hours going into the evening, there's a chance of some pop-up showers, and any showers that develop, we're going to be tracking for thunderstorm activity. It does get warmer before another dip in temperatures, not as dramatic as what we had this weekend, but from the 80s back into the 70s. And ultimately, we are looking at more roller coaster temperatures after that. So days 8 past the 7-day planner, days 8 through 14, we are looking at above average temperatures and not too much in the way of precipitation, I should say. We definitely need the rain because in the last 30 days we're running a deficit. So that is the latest in weather. Join us tonight on Central Oregon Daily News. We'll have the rest of your most reliable forecasts and the latest headlines in news. So that's at 5 and 11 on ABC and at 6, 7, and 11 on CBS. We'll see you then.